Hello, I'm Laara Copley-Smith and I'm with Fiona Adams, and we have a super guest today. We've got Garry Ryan with us, who is a energetic healer, and he does amazing breath work. And we're going to be talking further into that story of women, money, and the suppression of the feminine energy and essence. Thank you very much, both of you, for being with me today.
Hi,
And
Laara.
hi.
So I was talking to Garry a while ago about our Women and Money series, and he was telling me all about the history of women and suppression and the feminine suppression, and I found it really fascinating. So I thought I'd invite him along to our video series.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. We had a good conversation that day, and thank you, Laara, for having me on with both of you. Let me just launch straight into where we were in that conversation, and my understanding of what's going on this planet right now, with where Fiona began in the series that you're doing about financial hardship of women, and my version of that, which goes through to, so let's start here. In my healing work, I do a lot of work with women. Somewhere around 2012, I realized in this journey that I'm on that if women don't find themselves and rise, this planet's not going to happen. We won't be here as a human race. And also realized that we don't actually have a lot of time for that. And here we are in 2020. 8 years later, so much has changed, so much is moving, so much has been revealed, and we've only just begun this little journey of what's actually going on the planet. So with that was also my part of coming from a very dysfunctional male, very dysfunctional male, way out on the edge of rah 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 and all that stuff, and to who I am today, which is far different from that. And I do, as I said, I do a lot of work with women. I guess partly because certainly a big part of that is it's helping me and guiding me and showing me that how to be softer and strong, and that part of me is really important. It's a part that was missing for so long and has been missing in men for so long, because we've never been taught that. Indeed, women struggle with doing that themselves in many ways because of the system. So for me, there is a suppression on this planet of the feminine in all its forms, whether it's in men or women or children or boys or work or whatever, however that form is, the feminine form has been suppressed for at least 10,000 years, probably longer. And one of the great realizations around that, how much and how long that's been going on, was recently when I was doing some energetic work with two friends of mine, two women, one in Melbourne, one over here. We've done a lot of energetic work to clear things that have been blocked or hidden in the planetary consciousness. And one of that particular day, we worked on the story of Adam and Eve, and it came about because Georgia had the nursery rhyme "Follow the Leader." I think it's "Follow the Leader" in her head all day long. And when we really looked at the words, and anybody listening to this, I really encourage you to go and actually look up the words and have a real think about what those words mean. This is a child's kindergarten song being delivered by appears, and the last line in it is, the last lines are, we kill the engines, we kill the engines, we kill the engines, because he said so. Not because she said so, not because it said so, but because he said so. Have a look at the world today. What's running it? Dysfunctional male energies. And so that led us back to this interesting trail into the beginning, the story of Adam and Eve. Now, it doesn't matter whether it happened or not. It doesn't matter what anybody's take on it is, in my opinion. What really matters is that it has energy. And the energy behind it is that we were on this planet, brought down here. A snake, which in its original stories, if you go looking back, snake is actually about wisdom. And it has been twisted into something completely different in many ways, something completely the opposite. But the snake image is about wisdom, and in its most ancient stories. And so the snake offered the woman a gift, and the gift was free will. And the woman offered the free will to the man, and the man took it of his free will. But the story we're told is, and this is where it got twisted in a sense, right back at the beginning of who we are, this human form, that the man went, "You've betrayed me." He turned the story around as though he didn't take this gift. There was a free choice made there, but the story was to blame the feminine form, the female, the feminine energy, not specifically woman, but the feminine energy, as betraying the male. Have a think about it. It's really there. And the whole story of Adam and Eve and how the woman took the apple and they got kicked out of Eden because it was her fault, because she's bad and she's mean and she's nasty and she tricked us, and it's her fault, right? So go back through that. Where did that come from? There's many stories and there's much evidence, in fact, that this is a prison colony. And I feel like the reason it's a prison planet is because there are higher forces who are supporting us that entrapped the human dysfunction, the human disease, the human condition on this planet so it couldn't get out into the universe. The thing about this is that it does not like life. It is anti-life. And what is the definition of women? What do women do? Women bring life. Every female on this planet brings life. It brings life to the planet. Like, how could we possibly deride women when look what they can do they bring life onto the planet? If that's not the most amazing miracle on this planet, I don't know what is. Just that fact is enough. If a woman only brings one child onto this planet, isn't that enough? And nurtures and loves and brings that child up to the best of her ability, that is more than enough. But what happens? Women are ostracized, women are downridden, women, the feminine energy, and men are disconnected from it. We are, as men, we're disconnected from our female energies. We're taught not to feel, not to be soft, not to love, that it's wrong to cry. And we see how around World War II, another war where young men were taken off in their prime of evolution, in their prime of knowing who they are, through that time of the teenage years, they were thrown into this horrible conflict. There's other stuff around that we're not going to go into about the whys of war. However, they came back broken men. And what were the women doing in that time? They kept the nation going, as well as kept their kids alive, as well as fed them and did all that stuff. And so they had to completely step into that. And that's a masculine role. It's a very outward energy. And so to me, most women and I'll clarify, it's generalization, okay? But you can see it everywhere if you really look, where our masculine and feminine energies are out of balance. And the emasculated women who go and work in mining, particularly. I'm in Western Australia, so it's a bit more prominent here than it is in other parts of Australia. And the women who are emasculated into those roles, women who are in business, emasculated into these business roles, they lose their femininity. Yet some of the most amazing women are the women who are the most amazing and who are the most successful, truly successful, are the ones who have been able to keep their feminine essence, that beautiful, nurturing mother, soft side of themselves. And when men find that, what does a woman do? She melts into it. Women melt into that. Women, I have so many wonderful connections now because of the work I've done on myself and the discovery I've done and the effort and the intention I've held for myself for the last, 17 years, but particularly since around 2012. I still remember the day when I said that. It's time for me to go into my heart. It's time for me to learn this. And it took me 5 years at least before things started to feel like I was really moving. And that's been the best thing I've ever done, because so going back into what I see is going on with the feminine energy is it's being crushed in the workforce. It's being crushed in schools and crushed everywhere. It's being held down because the feminine energy is life. So the feminine energy in me was my life and my connection. What does feminine do? What do we understand about the feminine energy? It's an in energy. It's a receiving energy. So how can I possibly connect to other people on a deep level, to myself even on a deep level, to the creator of the universe, the everything, whatever you believe in, if I'm not in connection with my feminine side? It's impossible. It just can't happen. I can't have that. How can I connect with the women, the people, the children in my life if I can't find my feminine side, if I don't know how to allow her to come out, to be a part of life and living and giving and receiving? It just can't be done.
Can I interrupt and ask a question? The
Sure.
feminine energy is a receiving energy. So in your opinion, what stops women from receiving money and not being in poverty, particularly when they retire? What do you think is blocking that?
There is a consciousness on this planet that has been running a program for centuries, for thousands of years, that does not want the feminine to rise, does not want healthy humans on this planet. And this energy comes back through the English crown and through, not the Queen per se, but the English crown. She just happens to be the representative of it at the moment. But the crown, and back through the Catholic Church in Rome.
So is there anything that you can think of for the women that will be watching this that they can do to reclaim their power and, allow and receive, so that they, finance isn't the be all and end all, but I do know that it drains your energy when you're battling to make ends meet. Is there anything that you can think of that they could do?
Yes, it's a direct connection to our self-worth. Are you worthy? Are you worthy of having money? Are you worthy of receiving? And are you good enough to keep it? It goes directly into that psychology, and it goes directly into... Thank you, darling. My apologies. I'm in a place, they've just had a big conference, and this lovely woman, she's got to be 85. We had a beautiful conversation the other day. She just wanted to say goodbye, and and how nice it was to meet and have our conversation that we did. It goes back into clearing your mother's beliefs. What are your mother's beliefs? Listen to the thoughts in your head. Are they yours? Or are they someone else? Put a name to them. Are they really you? And you'll discover, I'm quite sure that they're not. Because I'm certain that the truth of who we are, the best of who we are, will never tell us we're not good enough and we shouldn't follow our dreams. I know that for a fact from my own journey. I know it. I feel it in every part of my body. And so discovering that, be around women that will support you in everything that you do. It doesn't matter if you say, hey, I've just quit my job. And they go, what are you going to do? And they go, I don't know. If they go, wow, that's fantastic and awesome, then you're with the right people. If they go into a big story of fear, then you're not with the right people. Really take stock, really look at who you're hanging around with and what they're saying to you, and be honest with yourself. You have to be brutally honest with yourself, because everything that's going to come up for you, it's going to be you. You're going to look in that mirror and go, oh shit, I am giving away my power. I am serving this person. I am giving myself over. I'm just like my mother. I can see that. Or I'm the total opposite of my mother because I hated being that. I hated seeing that. And there's no balance in any of those things. We have to keep looking inside, look inside, look inside, look inside. That's where the truth is. And learn to discern the difference between what is my mind trying to tell me, which is connected to the confusion of the planetary consciousness, and what is my heart, my instinct telling me, my intuition. Really understand the difference. It's okay to fuck up. It's okay to make a mess and go, oh shit, yeah, that wasn't it. Because that's just a lesson. And come back to it and go, oh, okay, I think I've got this. And listen to what you talk about. Listen to the words that you use. Listen to, are you using words that are positive? Are you using words that are negative? Are you talking about trying all the time? Trying is not an action. Trying is a nothingness. It's like saying, I want money. You can say, I want money until the sky turns purple. The universe will respond to what's going on underneath, what your real true belief is. And what it will keep delivering is the wanting of money and whatever other belief you actually have about yourself.
That's a really good point. So you'd have to reframe that I want money to money comes easily to me, or something like that.
Yes, and look at where the triggers are in you when you have money. What is it about? Okay, so if money comes to you, do you immediately want to go on a spending spree? Do you immediately feel the urge to go and spend it and buy something?
And
a really expensive meal. Yeah.
Yeah, just let it go. Let it just go easily. So
immediate gratification.
So can I add that, I mean, a lot of this goes back to what we've talked about, Fiona, about that self-love and that self-worth and that deserving, so that you can be open to receive. And awareness, what you're saying, Garry, is also kind of almost stopping yourself to be aware of what that trigger is and where it's coming from, whether it's coming from you or whether it's coming from that backstory, your mother, your grandmother, that ancestry belief.
Yes, it is, and even I've seen it where even at a particular age, the trigger gets the switch gets flipped, and the family belief comes into play. I've got cancer. I've got breast cancer. you know, breast cancer at blah, blah, blah. My mother had it at 45 and her mother had it at 45 and her mother had it at 45. That is actually a conditioned belief in most cases. We actually can convince ourselves that it's going to happen because our thoughts are so powerful. This is the strength. This is what's been hidden from us. The truth of us is our thoughts and our emotion is so powerful. We create everything. So that's why it's important to understand what is your true belief about money, about abundance, and don't do it as I want money. For me, I'm going, there's a property in Mundaring that I love it. I can see it. I can see the benefits in it. I'm calling that property to me. I'm not calling the money to me. I'm calling the property to me because I have a great big vision for that property of where it can take people and what can be done on that land. And I even have people around me now that have skills to help me with it. So it's that. And for my own journey, I've worked on my father's stuff. It was my dad's belief, mostly my dad's belief about money. My mum was amazing. I really still don't know how she did it on what she had to get us through private schools and to make sure we had food and we always had the house and all the rest of that stuff. Like, she was amazing. But my dad was like, he'd spend everything in his pocket and there'd be 5 cents on the ground and he wouldn't pick it up because it's not worth it. What? That's insane.
That is insane.
That's insane, right? But that was his belief. And one of the other ones is, so he's got an Irish background. Every nation has a psychology, a group consciousness. The Irish has a very oppressed, suppressed, depressed psychology of massive unworthiness.
And I've worked with quite a lot of Irish, and they're really like on building sites, and they graft, and you know, they're incredibly hard workers. So part of their story is that you have to graft for your money.
No, you don't. Yes, it is. It is. Those are the sorts of things to really feel into and get support. As I like to say this to people that I talk to, even with me, if you want to come and work with me individually, check your intuition. Am I the right person for you? Because I'm not the right man. I'm not the right person for everyone. But you got to really follow that intuitive guide. And is this the right person? You can't do this on your own. It's impossible. If you could sort out your financial psychology on your own, you would have already done it. It's so enmeshed in our system. It's so enmeshed in our lives. It goes so far back that it's really difficult. It becomes an emotional disaster.
Sorry to interrupt. You've gone a bit soft.
Yeah, actually, can we just pause for one moment?
Yeah.
Sure. Awesome.
I let go.